certain level, she's gonna retire me.
Wow.
So if she retires me because she has a higher earning potential, and we can have all things we want, desire, needs, and help others, why can't she give me the soft life?
But it also can apply to the males if you want to lay around the house and have your woman do all the work. That can apply as well.
Welcome to Date, Affirm, The Real. Our live podcast talking about today's relationships and its effects on us all. Please welcome our hosts, Marcus Goodwin and Don aka Junior Lee. Let's get real.
Good evening, Don. How you doing today, brother?
Good evening, sir. I am good.
Man, we gotta get the mojo going.
We is. This is the
It's
whole
8
show
o'clock.
about.
It's 8 o'clock tonight. We're gonna rock this thing.
We're gonna find out we got any mojo left. That's what we're about to do.
So, first of all, what we're gonna do first thing we're gonna do is give shout outs.
Okay.
We're gonna give shout outs to the ladies last week for bringing some funk. They was doing their shit, and like always, when they go hard and go strong, it always make us want to try to go a little bit harder, a little bit stronger. It's
Indeed.
competition is not bad when it's friendly.
Of course,
Yeah.
friendly fire. It's always friendly fire.
Yeah. So I advise everybody go out and check to YouTube or go out to the your favorite podcast listening platforms and check out the ladies from last week because they did their thing. Heck, they be doing that. They always do their thing, but the last 2 weeks, like you told me, Don, they were bringing the heat. Like,
it was bringing the heat, man. I couldn't drive fast enough. I was trying to get home.
man.
Yeah.
Oh, but this is Date, Affirm, The Real. I'm Marcus Goodwin, and that's who?
Don, aka Junior Lily.
Right on. So this week,
Sir.
before we get started, I want to make sure we know this is Data from the Real, and we'll be going. These are our opinions, our views, and just how we want to talk. We are promoting positively, open discussions amongst everybody. We're not with that negativity. We're just trying to make things a little bit better, one word at a time.
There you go. One show at a time.
One show at a time, one word at a time. You know, we pick our topics based on certain criteria. Things that we may see or that certain things that might bring up a thought. So this week, kind of based on the fire they brought last week, but this week, our title today is less between the sheets is having less sex hurting us or helping us. So the reason we bring that up is that Don, you sent me a clip of Angela Yee on her show, speaking about how people are having less sex these days, and with all these different scenarios and reasons why. But I also want to discuss the negatives, but also the positives, the whys, and I want to say negatives. I'm not going to say negative. I want to say the whys and why it could be beneficial. Because I think it could be beneficial not to be having sex all the time.
I want to hear this. This is sound educational here.
Yeah. Oh,
gather around, children, gather around.
Yeah. No, not the children with the sex talk. Hey, I ain't nobody mama, ain't nobody daddy.
Okay, of course. Well, you're telling a story. I'm using it in reference to you telling the story.
I know what you're saying.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me get it clear.
Yeah. This is not for the youngins.
Exactly. This is 18 old.
Yeah, because the stuff I say sometimes don't mean.
Either uncle is out there cussing again. Dad, uncle out there cussing.
Yeah. So let's play the clip real quick so we can kind of get
set the stage. Let's get the audience
having sex has dropped to record lows. They're calling it a sex recession. According to a recent study, they said that less than half of 1,000 men and women who were surveyed were having sex weekly compared to 55% in 1990. So 37% were having sex weekly. Back in 1990, it was 55%. And they said America's fertility rate is projected to average 1.6 births per woman over the next 3 decades. That's below the replacement level of 2.1 births per woman required to maintain a stable population without immigration. So that's interesting. And I'm wondering why this could happen. Now, according to Nicholas H. Wolfinger of the University of Utah, he told Newsweek, no one knows for sure why fewer people are having sex. And more broadly, it's always impossible to definitively explain a secular trend. Testosterone levels have been declining for years. People may be too busy looking at their phones. But data does suggest that some older people got out of the habit of dating and sex during COVID and never picked up where they left off. They just got used to being single and celibate.
People are not making money. And in order for you to date somebody, you need to have money. Okay? A beautiful woman is not going to sleep with a broke guy.
You know, it's interesting, though, to think about perhaps.
All right. I think it might have turned up a little too soon, but that's what it was.
Yes, we got the legits of what they were referencing there.
Yeah. So what's your initial thoughts, Don?
There is some substance to this, and when I say that is sex is great. I feel
Sex is beautiful.
it's beautiful. I want it now, but the thing is, we have to look at how we're attempting to achieve sex in a and I will say in our midlife compared to like the report said, the younger people are having more sex because they're more promiscuous, they're more active, and they just trying to make their way through it. But me, when referencing this, it's a different date and age. You have to be cognizant of what you're attempting to accomplish, and having sex is not the end game. Establishing something based on quality of love is what I want to seek and obtain. Sex is no longer the main agenda, as we said in a previous show before, and that's how I that's just a part of a take that I got from that clip there.
All right. So I agree with you on certain aspects, but there's one fact I want to point out real quick.
Yeah.
And what they were saying, and I kind of asked the phone. It says
Ask the phone. You looking at the phones. You said
ask the phone.
looking at the phone.
Yeah. It says
Main
young
reason we
adults.
having sex.
Well, it was saying where was it at? But they was even saying the younger adults are having less sex.
Yeah, I was looking at. I made some notes here. It says around 24% reported not having had any sex in the past year. Now, again, it's a sample. I didn't say how many people were sampled, but it says age 18 to 29, and they're saying they haven't had sex in the past year.
And I look at that. In a way, I'm kind of glad because
Okay.
maybe not the reason they're not having sex, but the fact they're not having sex as much, because sex can bring problems.
It does bring problems.
Or sex can bring babies, unplanned children. Sex can bring problems with relationships that, hey, because you having sex with somebody who you're not in a relationship with, or you giving it, when you have sex with several people, people feelings get involved and things like that. So sometimes not having sex can also give you time to maybe hopefully reflect. Also, not having sex means I'm not giving part of myself to somebody who's probably not deserving of it.
Not deserving.
Yeah, because there's been times I think, and I spoke about this. I had to go checking my my previous videos. Sometimes I would say if I have sex with somebody who I'm not in love with or I don't care about, the act is great. The climax is awesome. But the after effects, I felt empty. I didn't want to. I didn't want to touch you. I didn't want to hug you. I didn't. Hell, I, depending how tired I was, I probably would have rather go home.
Speak the truth, man. Speak the truth.
So I I'm glad that people not having sex as much.
Mhm.
You know, now the reasoning is a whole scenario
Of course.
because
There-
we're not as interactive as we once was in the 90s. Me and my lady was talking about how she going to the park going to the park and hanging out with and when we're jumping, everybody pull up. Those days, you don't see as much of those. We ain't how many times you said, I'm gonna meet my partners out and we're gonna hang, we just gonna sit out, we're gonna sit out in front of somebody's house and watch people walk by and maybe try to holler at them.
Yeah. The logistics of that has changed through rhyme or reason. I'm just reflecting here based on what you're indicating in my younger days when we would go to the local park. You hoop, you play ball, and you might get a couple of girls come through watching you, right? You're like, oh, I'm finna show out. Now you get out there and tear your ACL trying to dunk on somebody, and in hopes that you get a phone number at the end of the day. And if you look at those, because again, based on the '90s and now, if you look at the dynamics now, it's guys going to recreational centers, they're going to parks, they're going to local hangout spots, and they're packing heat. Ain't nobody got time for that nowadays. You know what I mean? So it could cause less people to gather in areas where we used to do it for fun. Now they're doing it for gang initiation, and nobody want trying to die behind some what. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
I'm with you on that. And also let's think about what something you said in the underline of what you're saying. So let's talk about
let's talk about sex.
that too.
It's salt and
Talk
pepper.
about sex, babe. All right. Um, if you ain't going out to shoot ball in this park, guess what's happening?
Hmm.
You're not exercising as much. You're not being athletic.
Yeah.
You're not doing as much
Yeah,
to
you ain't doing
sustain your
too much.
body. And guess what? And guess what happens? Your testosterone levels die down. So you're not as horny. You're not as you're not wanting as bad because you think about it when you was at your physical peak, man. Your shit was like Chinese arithmetic. Like I gotta go get this off.
But listen to what you're saying, and not to cut you off.
No, you good.
Yes, you're right. I'm going to focus on me. When I was at my apex of peak condition, even in my late 30s, early 40s, it was not necessarily about the Chinese arithmetic or me getting it off. It was more of a feeling of, how can I put it? It was a feeling of accomplishment, like I am somebody now. So when I would walk in the room, as indicated, that manly masculinity would rub off, and women would be attracted to that, and therefore you could then satisfy your sexual desires in that way because you're now attracting other people to your aurora from the fact that you have this energy, not necessarily that you're going out and just trying to jump pounce on people. You're going out showing this energy that I feel good about myself, therefore my confidence level is up, so I am willing to talk to someone in hopes that we could uh see what the night unlies for with a little nightcap. Let me start there.
Yeah, no,
Pour a
I
little
went.
wine,
Yeah, first of all,
Teddy Pendergrass. Go ahead.
I ain't never had no six pack. I will go out with the reason to hunt. We that would and
Yeah,
we that was it. We'll talk shit and we'll hang with the guys but we at the end of the day
yeah, yeah,
we talking about women and we are trying to get at women.
of course.
And we started seeing decline. Just think, if you actually were to sit back and think about the changes in the past decades.
I'm thinking about it now, man.
Yeah.
Made me cry over here in a minute.
Think
But
about the 90s where we talking about what was that? What was that one Tupac video where he was in the pool and he drinking?
I get around.
Yeah, I
I
get
get
around.
around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
that was
watch.
the '90s thing.
Yeah, till we get to the early 2000s when we doing damn Laffy Taffy and men dancing with each other.
Y'all know about that, but
Come on, you wasn't
carry
doing
on.
like
I don't do no Laffy Taffy,
are
man.
you whatever. Stop
We do
lying.
the South Side, and that's it. It's
Whatever.
it's
Bring your
H
ass out
time,
of
baby.
Texas and get around. All right. What we,
I
but
don't
we
think I won't be the only swinging one in the room, but it ain't gonna be.
whatever. But the things like that,
Yeah.
but the slow. Sometimes we losing some of the interaction. I think as well.
Yeah, of course.
Then we come to other aspects. But like I said, then we are talking about all this about how to this decline. Then the age started brackets. We gotta start looking at
Mm,
what the next generation that came behind us, who wasn't who prime wasn't in the 90s,
yes.
who prime was hitting in the 2010s.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what was the trend? So what made them desire sex more less? And I'm gonna put something out there. I'm gonna throw some shit on you.
Okay, go ahead. Don't throw no shit on me, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, duck, nigga. All right. With such technology out there, if you're a little bit horny, guess what? You'll pop your phone and get all the porn you want. So back in the Mr. Marcus days, you had to go get the damn VHS or DVD.
You have to go get the Dallas Observer.
Yeah, you had to go get the bootleg. Now you just go to
You get the bootleg.
skeet1off.com.
That definitely changes the dynamic as to how satisfaction of sexual desire is being fulfilled. The act of still sex still will pertain to how individuals are obtaining it. As you indicate, as we get older, our libido kind of dies. Even those that we seek to procreate with, their aspect has changed. And the reason I say that is because I remember my late 30s, 40s, and women that you talk with or associate with, you see that they change from just trying to get a man to now they wanting to build something. They want to establish something. So their goals is changing. They're not out there just sleeping. So now they're holding back. And what someone may have tried to say that was a nice weekend, but no, they're holding back on getting something more out of life and not just giving away because you're coming through here with a rental car.
Yeah,
Flossing.
as I'm mature, I can respect that to the fact that a woman values herself.
Yeah.
I'm not here just to give it to away. Not to say that's a bad thing. Not to say a bad thing. I'm not going to go back like last week because last week was fire.
Yeah.
The fact that long as you hold yourself in a high regard.
Yes.
Keep it in a high regard and making the man hold you as in the female in a high regard. That's why I feel strongly. Like, hey, this is a woman. This is a lady. Hold her in the highest regard. That if she feels that high regard for herself, you should hold herself. You see what you did?
Yeah.
So if she wants to withhold sex, that's great. Man, I like it when when they. Well, I ain't gonna say I like it all the way, but it depends if I'm the hunter. Yeah, but no, I'm still joking. But the fact that if she would just no, you need to before if I give you this, I gotta make sure you're worthy.
Yeah, not just worthy. What are we attempting to accomplish? Because somebody can say worthy and they can sit around for 6 months and then they get it, they still split. But what are they trying to accomplish with what we're doing? Because sometimes people lead with sex and then hope to build on that, and that can make a house crumble by some foundation. But if you don't lead with that and build with something of a connection, and then it gets deep, it gets intimate without sex, and then when the sex is the cherry on top, you're like, wow, This is what I've been waiting for.
I like that because
Yeah.
I like to say, what happens if something happens to one of us and we can no longer perform for any
Mm,
type of reason?
mm.
Would you leave me?
You want to know that, or at least have a discussion about it, because you don't want somebody to be like, okay, in the thief in the night, and be like, okay, you can't do nothing for me, I'm out, and be like, well, we never had a discussion,
Yeah,
so we never had the opportunity to see how this scenario will play out. You just gonna leave me like that? You're like, man,
you know. And if we don't base it on
yeah,
sex, we are able to have a discussion about it.
yeah,
If we don't base it on sex, it's not. We are more I think it shows a truer connection.
yeah,
I we are not. I am not. For one thing, I'm not downplaying sex.
yeah,
But if sex was such a I think, to me, this is my opinion. If I put sex as such a high priority, that's saying if I have to go out of town for work for 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and my wife is home, and she can't give me sex, should I go try to find it because she's not giving it to me because she's not available? Because our shit was based on sex. Our shit based on sex. I'm 3 weeks away I'm gone for 3 weeks. If you can't fulfill your side of your wifely duties because it's based on sex, I have to get it somewhere else. That's like it's like saying something stupid like, "Oh, you didn't make me dinner. I got to go somewhere else and get dinner."
yeah.
It's
Intimacy versus quantity. You bring up a good point, and because it makes us think about how we think about sex, right? Do we think about less sex? Do we think about different sex, more intentional, more emotional, less performance driven? And the reason I am saying that, because a lot of people lead with sex because they have no other way to connect with a person, and it's something about that person they don't want to let go. Man, she fine, so the sex is the bomb. I can't see her without nobody else, so I'm gonna stay around here and kind of dribble around the 3-point line and hope you shoot my shot and never drive to the basket, and make it a done deal. And then you got, can't speak with the women, but I'm just paraphrasing here from my experience. I would have experiences with people like, okay, we did have sex. What kind of connection can we have beyond that? Because sometimes you want more from a person. And then sometimes they'd be like, and I've had this done to me, and it kind of like tripped me out. They'd be like, well, I just wanted sex. And I'm like, come hearing that from a female tell you that, it's kind of like sometimes like a shocker. It's like, wow, oh shit, I actually was used. And because I wasn't prepared to hear that, from that aspect in my younger days.
he thought you
Shocker.
was he was hitting Eddie Murphy and Boomerang,
Man,
huh?
put $200 on the table. I might
Yeah,
forget it.
you got Boomerang.
Yeah, I got boomerang, and it is a shocker because it makes you rethink your purpose as a man. You think, I'm gonna hit everything that move, and put another notch on the side of the bed. I'm a man, right? But at the same time, you're not building anything with that. You're just hoping you don't wind up as a statistic. You know what I mean? That's not good for the long run.
Yeah, and, and the fact that I don't know with these all these different emotions, and
Yeah,
our emotions are different now. I think this generation below us, we are emotionally different. I'm not saying good or bad, but I think they're emotionally different.
it is. It, I wouldn't even say it's a generation. I say it's cultural shift, and I'm trying to give an example here. If you think about what we're seeing in public view, older men dating younger women, older ladies dating younger men, still got a groove back. We're seeing a culture shift as to how people date, because when I was in the 80s, 90s, people dated within their range. You wouldn't see a 35-year-old man dating an 18-year-old girl, but Shannon Sharp dating a 25-year-old, and he's double her age, trying to hit that. Well, he did hit that on IG Live, so he was hitting something. So you see how the cultural shift in today's society is causing people to be more I want to say more is causing them to put their sexual prowess on display because it's not more. It's probably the same, than it did back in the 80s. If people just not showing it. I mean, I could be wrong.
In my experience,
Smartphones, IG,
in my
Facebook.
experience
Yeah.
back in the day, we had them cats who was dating them younger ladies. I ain't gonna say girls. It was dating young ladies. You
Yeah.
know, so I wouldn't say that in my experience.
Okay.
When you say IG, this is also a different way how you can you trying to grab the attention of women.
How is that from a male perspective? Because we know men are visual, right? Half naked lady gets on IG, ooh, click, type, like, DM. How is that from a man's standpoint? We can do the same. Can we even compete in that area?
I don't see why not.
Unless you GQ,
Yeah,
like you said,
you
6-pack.
but think about it, you step your game up. Think about the not the clientele, but think about the women you're trying to entice,
Okay.
and I know it may be a bad word, but you bait them to what they like. If you're chasing a women who are, I'm sorry to say, money hungry, because some people are. I would dress in a way that like I would present myself in a way like I got a lot of money.
Yeah.
And a good chance they probably would try to come to me.
Interesting.
Women do pursue men on digital platforms. It happens. So it will go both ways. But the fact is, I don't want to get too far from the point about having less sex.
Yeah.
But the fact is that if these numbers are true, we have less sex. I'm glad we're having less sex, but I think the reason we're having it is the problem.
It could be a combination of problems. And I'm going to speak for myself here. I'm going to put myself out here. One of the reasons that I can say that I am not having any sex or less sex is because I'm no longer in a relationship. So I'm going to say that can contribute, because if you are not out there chasing and you're working and then trying to reestablish your perspective, sex becomes secondary. It becomes on the back burner, so that's a reason for one gentleman to have less sex. He's not in a relationship, because when you're in a relationship, you're building that bond. The expectation of intimacy is almost nightly. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I was at that point. It was nightly. So yeah.
And I dig that, because so that's a valid point. Like, are we now gearing toward a point in the culture where we're starting to focus more on ourselves before we start chasing others, getting ourselves ready? I could see that with especially in the 30s and 40s and up. That's a good thing.
Yes.
I need to get myself together before I try to.
You got to heal, get beyond what was before, heal so that you can assure yourself that what you're giving is the best example. You can't half-ass it just to satisfy a desire. The end game is to build something. The sex is just the cherry on top, not the focus.
And I'm glad that people like that are deprioritizing the P. That is not. I could find you sexy, but at the end of the day, what can we build together?
Yeah.
I could find you sexy, but why would I tear my home down for you?
But it happens. You just made a good point. Why did I tear my home down? And every time we look up, some guy got a side piece, right? Why does the need to satisfy that if you're getting it at home, unless you said earlier you're not getting it. You out on the road, you know, Motel 6.
So, okay, if you're out on the road, this is something that, like I said, we need to address. Why can't I can't be on the road and not um contain my desires for sex to the point where I have to have a side piece?
That person may need to look internally. What are they trying to
Right.
accomplish? Masculinity? Uh, Again, just trying to be big as HOE on the block? What are you trying to accomplish by doing that? Risking,
So
a child.
you're right. We are risking, but all right. So let's
Yeah,
break this
go
down.
ahead, sir.
Like Kia McLean, the poet, said that new.
That new. We always like that new when it's new.
New. So every time you get caught up with that new and you get caught up with by your wife, who the first one you run? You have at that point in time, you have a choice. You can go to the new, you could run, stay with the new, or you can go back to and try to make amends with your wife. 90% of the time, they trying to go back to their wife.
The new don't have nothing to offer other than sex.
I ain't gonna lie, even the new, if we that scene with new have all together, they like, come on, out, come on here. They'll still go back to their wife.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead, because if you have the
we did.
equal comparison between the new and the wife, and the man gets caught up and he has to make a decision because wife said, if you don't come home, it's over. Your stuff is on the side of the road. You might as well go ahead and sign on papers. And the new is like, I can do whatever she's doing, but better. That man needs to look internally with himself and say, what I currently have with my wife, I mean, I'm not married, so I'm paraphrasing and assuming here, but you can step in any time to correct me. What I have with my wife is greater than trying to establish something new and determine if we are compatible long term. It could go vice versa too.
Mm-hmm. So my thing with that is, if you married the woman, you develop some type of bond. That bond may not be as strong as you thought it was, think it was, or it may be weakened over time, because there is something, like you said, you internally or within that marriage, in that union, that where you are going to the new. Why are we going to the new? That to begin with. And now, if you hit with that choice and you try to go make amends with your wife, beyond the apologies and asking for forgiveness, we had to figure out, why did I even take time to keep pursuing this over there to even put us in that position?
Yes, the why.
Was it
The
right?
why.
The why? Was it just the ego?
The ego,
Or was there something wrong in our household?
stress at home.
Right. All these things. Is it something she was saying that I was desiring
Oh,
to
she
hear?
probably said something good. You fell into that trap. So sweet nothings.
And that a lot of times that
Yeah.
often happen. My wife she often tells me, not as much anymore, because I caught the hint. She would say, don't let another man tell her how good she looked before I do.
Wow.
Yeah, that's because she should not seek that she ain't gonna seek it like that anyway, but a woman should not seek the validation of her appeal away from her man.
I agree with that.
And this is a lesson I learned from her. Out of all my years of life, I had to hear it. I learned it from her. Like, damn, that makes a whole bunch of fucking sense.
Effort being the word. So just to piggyback on what you said, how do we, because we're in our mid 50s, how do we get back to establishing our sexual prowess with our partner, not just saying you go out there and beat the block, you just with your partner? What advice would you give a
All
young
right.
G like me, sir, a young OG like me?
Yeah. All right. So I'm not. So let's get real. First and foremost, it's our health.
Okay,
I'm a big dude. I'm like the sexiest big dude you'll ever meet that you ever see in your life.
I might give you a run for your money, but go ahead, sir.
All right. So it's our health.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
one, we got to make sure we're doing the exercise. But but other than exercise, know what another hard part is?
Mhm.
Is our food that we eat, that we consume is really deteriorating our testosterone,
Ultra
our
processed
overall
stuff.
our overall health.
Okay.
We are getting away away from a natural diet,
Mm.
and I'm looking at it, I'm like, so, and I could be honest, my T levels were super low. They probably still low. And I tried a couple of therapies, and it worked some. It started shooting up, but it has to start with your diet and how you doing. Now I'm doing some natural stuff and getting and more in the
You got
gym
that
again
you
and
got that honey pack over
lifting
there,
weights.
man? You got that honey pack over
The honey pot.
But you bring up a good point. Diet, exercise. I had to have a come to Jesus meeting with my doctor because when I was in a relationship, I felt that we were having less sex at the time because of the fact that I felt my desire for sex had faded. And then when you speak with your doctor, well, they give you all these tests. Well, you do have low T. All right, we can give you a testosterone booster, which costs X amount of dollars, or you can take some Viagra, Cialis. So I'm going with the latter, and the Cialis does work. It does get your libido going, but you still have to do other things to gradually come back up to form. And so I was riding the bike, I was going to the gym, and now I'm in a situation where I'm working later hours than normal, 8 to 5. I feel that later hours, the drive to and from work is affecting my energy level. So I have to now rediscover a different method to address that. So it's something that I'm evaluating now to get my level back to what I feel like, okay, because if you go in there and you perform and you're not performing, then you may be still getting less sex because you ain't putting on the show. You tapping out in 2 minutes or 2 seconds or whatever, 20 pumps.
You
Yeah,
just
yeah,
putting it
yeah,
in. You
yeah.
ain't doing
You
just
put the
putting it
tip
in.
in. It's pretty much you put the tip in. That's all you got. So you want to do
Yeah.
more than
You good,
yeah.
babe?
I'll give you the V cut, but I ain't got nothing else. I'm
Yeah.
man down. But yeah, so I have to look at myself and say, okay, yeah, health, diet, the stress of work, but to overcome that, let me find alternative ways to get my energy level up. So,
So yes, and I'm gonna tell you. So all you said, everything you said was true, and at a younger age, people started relying on
mhm.
medicines.
Speak on it, sir.
All right, so I'm gonna tell you about another one of my experiences. So what happened was I used to hang out with some
Hmm.
people, right? My homeboys. We was all single and for the most part. And when we was trying to have just go after women.
Okay.
And you had the Viagra and the Cialises.
All right.
I'm
Hardcore
laughing.
Hilly Pen.
Somebody said, just put the tip in. Shout out Cigar
Exactly.
Chronicles.
Shout out.
But we will actually find the over the counter gas station ones that will work, because now we have conditioned ourselves to think we need
Mm,
this. Now we putting this in our body. Now our body says we need this to perform. So this is I'm gonna tell you the truth. When this was if we know we about to have sex with somebody new, like my babe said,
hmm
new,
Oh yeah,
we knew which ones was going to work, or which one we going to try one of them, because we had the mentality that we had to put on a show. That was our
that
thought.
masculinity.
We wasn't looking for the connection. We were looking for the
Mm,
climax. But like I said, I was so interested in the climax and the act, I forget about the empty after the fact.
the emptiness. Ooh, that's heavy because not to get too far into my skeletons. There was a time, yeah, but
Ooh.
I'm gonna lay it out there. There was a time when the rule of thumb for me was a woman ain't coming to my house spending the night. I'm going to her house, do what we need to do, and I'm splitting. And on that drive home, I had that emptiness thought a lot because it was like I just used her for my gratification, and I'm still left empty. You know, I'm not
Right.
satisfied in anything. I'm just chasing something out of egotistic maniac, and still coming up short in the end because the end game is no longer sex. The end game has to be something of substance. Now, not to get off what you were saying, because we talked about this other day, less sex could also be contributed to oversaturation. You indicated earlier, get on the internet, www, whatever you want to pull up.com. But the oversaturation of that, IG, commercials, everything is, people flaunting everything in your face. Women go to the club, less clothing, revealing everything. Does the oversaturation, overstimulation can cause people to no longer be gratification of sex because they're seeing it all the time. So it's almost like they get that gratification just from looking at the TV or whatever means of it. And then when it comes to their partner, then don't feel stimulated to enjoy that moment.
All right. So Jesse Jackson with all them damn emulations and shit. So
I have a dream. I have a dream. I had a
yeah.
dream.
So this can't. So the, you gotta focus on the word
Yeah.
over, because in my opinion, is there anything wrong with watching little porn? Nah, because I, that could be a sexual aid.
Okay.
This is where we need
A beginner's guide, dummies for
no.
sex.
We need
Uh,
our
the
home girl to come
therapist.
on with this one. Yeah, Twyla be good. But no, I think so. Yes, but if you get addicted to it, I think it can be a point where you're living try to not living it, but you're comparing fantasy.
Mm,
Even these social media could actually start making you think this is what the woman should be, what should look like. This is
yeah.
because remember, this is a
Yeah.
show.
Superficial.
It's superficial, and now you may mess around and try to compare real people that's in the real world, tangible that you could touch, not
Yeah.
something you got to ding on fly
Yeah.
or just kind of scroll to
Yeah.
find. You setting yourself up for a
Mm,
disappointment, for a
mm,
fantasy. You know, so make sure the real shouldn't always be the physical,
yeah.
and we're all guilty of it. The real is just the physical is it's initial attraction. It's an initial attraction,
hmm
but you're trying to get to the real.
Yeah.
the
I
substance.
want to see what she had.
That you ain't hold, yeah, you ain't holding a conversation with some social media. Yeah, y'all can go back and forth, but you can sit down, talk face
There's
to
no,
face.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, so yeah, I think that can play if when overused, the over.
I got you.
You know,
Got you. That
now
definitely makes sense there.
if you're just using it for something as a Kickstarter, hey, or if you had a if you maybe what if you are gone for 3 weeks? Yeah, shoot one off in your hotel room and take your ass to sleep and wait until you get back to your wife. Shit.
Only Marcus can say that, but okay.
I mean, come on. I would imagine your partner would rather you rub one off than go out trying to go hunt something.
Yeah, you're exactly
Trying to,
correct because you can build that intimacy with your partner through a phone call, right? And whatever you guys do to enjoy the moment is between you two.
yeah. So back like we said, so are we having less sex? Probably
Yeah,
so.
you
But we are still make sure we enjoying each other.
have to enjoy
I'd
each
rather
other.
make sure we enjoying this
Yes,
stuff.
because at some
Yes.
point that moment, that magic hour is going to reveal itself, and it might be just you two alone in the house, and she look at you some way, and the hair flop, and you look up, and you're like, "Oh my god, this is it right here," and boom, that's how babies are born, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Or think about it. We in these things we was talking about ages from 18 to 69. When you get in your 60, like shit, man, I got to stretch before I go in.
Stretch.
Like, hold on, is our body your body good? My body good today. My body not good today. Yours good. Yeah, we gotta work.
I got to stretch now. How do you ever call a Charlie horse,
Yeah.
man?
Yes.
That's the end of the game. Cut. Show's over.
Yeah. Eat a banana.
but again, thinking about back to the less sex, because based on that survey that they were talking about in the video, delayed partnership and marriage contribute to people having less sex. The word that people don't speak about anymore. Some women save themselves, some men save themselves for marriage, and therefore they prefer not to copulate until that time comes along when they meet the right partner and everything is lined up with the heavens. Marriage, people get married later in life. They choose to remarry later in life, and sometimes between those two processes, they don't want to be intimate. They want to save themselves just to ensure that it's best for them and their partner. Want to keep it tight, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. If it's tight or not, all right, so this is one of my traumas, I
Go
should
ahead,
say.
sir.
This is one of the things that would piss
Yeah,
me off
too
back in
short
my younger.
record. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I would consider myself a
Yes,
good
sir.
dude.
You are.
Back in the
Sure.
day when I was younger, I wasn't perfect, but I consider myself as more the
Mhm.
gooder side. Ooh, gooder side. I was better than a lot.
There you go.
And I would get pissed off when I would try to date women, and they would withhold sex from me because I was the good guy, and I was the one they wanted to kind of nurturing a relationship with. By the time they're holding it from me, they give me to the Rudy Poo. I was like, why the fuck you giving it to the motherfucker
You
who
was a
ain't
fluffer,
shit?
huh?
What the fuck?
He just building up to the next person. Flag on the play. Or I'll go ahead and P and say flag on the play. First down. 15-yard penalty. But you do make a point, because I had this thing when I was younger, being the good guy, the goody two shoes, that women wanted men who were thugs, who were roughnecks. Well, even MC Light made a song about it, so it had to be some truth in there, right? I didn't wear Timberlands, you kind of the nerd in the corner with glasses and shirt button up all the way here. I had the pocket protector. I was actually a nerd back in high school because had different goals and didn't experience what younger men may have experienced at a teenage age until I got older. And it was like, okay, I got to change my perception, because it seemed like these women like thug men. So I got a little nonchalant and non-caring at times, just to see if that concept hold true. And I can't say if it did or not, but there is something to it, as maybe from a younger generation. There's some to when a guy is a little bit on the edge, braggadocious about how they do things in life and not too button up. But then again, the flip side of that, there are women who like men who are more a little bit more low key and toned down. So it's good for the gander, it's good for the goose. That's what I say with that.
So right. But that used to really piss. You right. It used to piss me off. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna say it used to, still do. Damn it. I think I just got triggered. I just triggered my damn self.
Hold on, Marcus. Hold
on. But no.
Yeah.
It's with these things like this. It's I like the fact that people are really starting to value yourself and take a little time to evaluate their life before they,
of course,
give sex. But at the same time, like they were talking last week, but ain't nothing wrong with it as long as we know what's it about.
Yeah.
If this is what you want to do, and this is, hey, I think it makes sure it's understanding.
You can
enjoy
life.
And like they said last week,
life.
If she ain't after 3 times she ain't call you, you know what it was.
But yeah, even with that, when you say that after 3 times she ain't called you, how about the flip side of that? I've turned down many opportunities, and I'm like, you know what? No, I'm not even gonna entertain that. Maybe trying to lay it on heavy, but like, no, I'm good. Because you think about the what if scenario, you opening that can of worms, I don't want to go down that road. They may be jealous. They may start cutting tires. They be throwing eggs at your house. No, I'm good. Yeah, I don't need that drama.
So
I don't need that. I think your mic went a little low. Who's mic? What I say? What I say there? What?
No, it just went low.
Okay, I probably stepped away from the mic. I'm sorry. My mic sound nice. Check 1. There we go.
Yeah. A little better. Yeah. So with all that being said, I'm laughing at. Hold on.
No comments coming in.
Yeah. Right. She putting her emojis on
football
there.
Season. She put flag on the play. What's the question mark? Googly eye.
It must be, I'm thinking maybe some about that 3 times. She ain't after 3 times. He stopped calling you. You better know what it is.
He ain't nothing, bro. Leave it alone.
Yeah, it ain't nothing.
He's like on Players Club, following home.
Yeah, ain't nothing personal.
I want to make sure you get home safe.
If you know what I mean about you want to know what I mean about the 3 times, go check out last week's episode. With the healing Carco healing pin coach,
the therapist,
and the dark therapist.
What lust is like.
But back, like I said, I'm gonna go back to the original subject. people not having sex, I don't think is a
Mhm.
bad thing as much. People not having as much sex is not a bad thing, but I do think we need to make sure we are not taking all our distractions away to make sure when we do have sex is healthy.
Mhm.
And when we pursue health, we're pursuing sex is in a healthy
Yeah.
way. You know, one of the things that we engage in our household when we're pretty much when we're in the bed and we're winding down for the evening, we put our phones away. We don't be on the phones in the
That's a
bed
good
like
point.
that.
That's a
You
good
know,
point.
we both in the bed. We the phones are pretty
Yeah.
much put up.
Yeah, you're right.
You know,
That's a good establishing point. You want to take away from the distractions of intimate points in life, the memorable points that you can build in life. And we may be having less sex, but it's not about the numbers anymore. It's
oh,
not
it's
about
not
the
about the
numbers. You're
numbers.
having love and intimacy with your partner. That's what it's about. Yes,
I
sir.
like that. We need to make sure we stay with the intimacy and
Yeah.
focus on the love. I mean, I can't say no better than how
Yeah.
you said it because the love is going to keep you there. The love is going to maintain you. The intimacy is going to give you that fulfillment that you really
Mhm.
need. You know, and back in it, I don't know, several years ago when we had our DAR, we was doing when me and Babe was doing
Mhm.
DAR together. Our segment, and one of the episode was sex versus
Mhm.
intimacy. Is there, separating the
Mhm.
difference?
Yeah.
You know, go bang bang ain't intimacy.
It's not. It's not.
No,
Throw your hip
no,
out. That's what you're gonna do.
yeah. And I think if we having less sex, but we still should be engaging in more
Mhm.
intimacy. I think that should be a good
Yeah.
focus. Less sex and more
More V cut.
intimacy. We got a question. Look, I might have a question there. Go for it, Don. Read it
Hardcore
out to
Hilly
me.
Pins question: do you think less sex always equal less love? And what are non-sexual ways you feel most connected to your partner? So I'm gonna have to reminisce a little bit on this, and I'm gonna answer this in two parts. It's gonna determine how the love language of the two individuals connected. Less sex to one person can equal less love. Less sex to another person can mean that you can focus on other things to connect. Non-sexual ways I like to connect with my partners, again, reminiscing, or to rub her feet, massage her hair. I mean, try to get out sexual here on y'all, but yeah, you do something to please your partner that may be through physical touch, uh, showing that you care about making breakfast in the morning, making a hot cup of tea, a cup of coffee, and just surprising them. I always get up, you know, at the time I was getting up before she was. So yeah, you can do a lot of things before they wake, and then you can surprise them with it, showing it's just not always about sex. It's more of a connection. Hopefully, that resonates in the long term.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Don, I agree. I pretty much agree with everything you just said. The first part says, "Do you think less sex always equals less love?" And that is a definite no. It does not. Less sex does not equal less love. Like you said earlier, it's the cherry on top. The sex is not the end all be
Mhm.
all. Over time, happy marriages end up having less sex. So the fulfillment of certain things like the
Mhm.
touch, the rubbing of her, things like
Yeah.
that, you know, equates my love. And the other part is like what you were saying that well, we go repeat the second part. What are non-sexual ways that you feel most connected to your partner? And that kind of intertwines because doing things like we have our Sunday
Mm,
routines is I will oil her
mhm.
scalp. Even in the middle of the week, we just on a non oil day. I still do it because she enjoys it, and I love touching her hair. I like her head on my lap.
Mhm.
When we driving, sometimes I reach over and just touch her knee.
That's where it started.
Yeah, yeah. But those are things that sensual
Put
touch.
the side.
You stupid.
Yeah. Go ahead, sir.
No, you good. They got to say in it when we feel connected, or when she feels like I do something, or I'm doing making her feel aware that she should be she really feels appreciated. That those moments where she tells me how great of a husband she
Mhm.
has. You know that's hopefully reassure that I'm doing at least doing something
Yeah.
correct,
Yeah.
something right. I don't know. We need to find these stay connected because if we don't find something connected more than one way, yeah, is sex the way to stay connected? Yes, but it has to be in multiple
Mhm.
layers. You can't have one string holding you.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah, because once that string pop or breaks, you done. We
Yeah.
have one thread holding you together, it ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
So that's my answer.
Well said, sir. Well said.
Man, this was a cool topic. You know,
Was.
I think, as I said, but I was saying for less sex is good. It may not be for the reason that we have less sex, but it's a good thing. Let's embrace it.
Yes.
And one of the things they say was the population.
Mhm.
You know, things of such nature. You know, I one of the things that do break my heart, and it's not a knock on anything. When people struggle to maintain food on the table.
Mm.
You know, they show the children love, but it just happened that their child happened things happened at the wrong time. And it breaks my heart because you're really yeah, people are loving their children, and when the economy gets bad in
Yeah.
such situations.
You're hitting on something that I think there's a point in time we may have all experienced something where we felt like it was an abundance. For me, I didn't grow up in the ghetto. I didn't grow up in the projects. I grew up in the country. And there were times when we didn't have abundance of something, but the connection we had as a family, the connection we had with our extended family made it feel like we had everything there was in the world.
Yeah, you know, and um, Missy says cooking meals, doing laundry, and helping with house
Household chores.
chores are non-sexual things.
Those are green flags. Green flags.
Those are more and more threads holding you together because
Yes.
not only in my mind, me helping you out with these or me cooking meals, it's also shows I'm trying to show you that I mean I got these chef skills. No, I'm still joking, but it helps that
Hey, baby boy, you
you're
want
not
some
you're
eggs?
not you're not in this alone.
Of course. Yeah.
You go out and you hustle, you make money just like I go out and make money. We go out, we fight the same traffic. We go through this. I am not I am not your superior.
Mm,
I am your partner.
mm,
Don't
Wow.
don't get it wrong. You may clean better than me, but at the
Hmm.
same time, I need you to know I'm still here.
Yes.
You may cook better than me, but I'm still gonna make something that you can eat.
Yes.
It's not your obligation. It's something that you desire to do for me, and I'm a desire to do for you in return.
Yes. Well said. Well said.
Hold on, we got something else going on here. I read slow, so hold on.
Thanks for the comment, Missy Webster. That was very enlightening. Does parenting overshadow sexual encounters?
Ooh,
You see my hand. My hand is up. I'm jumping on this.
jump on it because I'm
I'm gonna
stuck
jump
where I
on
was
it.
stuck.
Yes. 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 If you got some badass kids that keep coming in the room, we can't do nothing. But no, in our reality, yes, because parenting should come first. You should not neglect your children's physical, emotional needs to go and do your thing. There will come a time if you take care of your parental duties, put them to bed, and you have a little intimate, a little downtime, you can then try to sneak one in at that point. But you should not do it when they are right in front of you, or knowing that there isn't that moment of intimacy to make it even better.
Hmm. So I'm thinking like, parenting is like a full-time gig that work you out like a damn gym workout.
Yeah.
And
Will.
there's gonna and there's been probably plenty of times where if one or both of you are tired and you just can't muster the energy to have sex.
Just
But like
want to
you
put the
said,
tip in. You just want to
you're
put the
here to
tip in,
raise
man.
the kids,
Yeah.
you know. But there's also gonna be times I imagine, where shit, we still gotta satisfy each other. Like this is where we just put the tip in and don't hump and don't two humps and I'm sorry.
She gonna be like, the kid's gone now. What's the excuse now? You got lock the doors on you.
We take a Red Bull because
No, that ain't
when the
that.
kids are going now, it's like, I'm tired. I want to take a nap.
No, you gonna take a nap when you finish.
Okay. You talk that shit now because you think about grandkids. You ain't thinking about
I
kids.
know, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But that is an important question because parenting, as you indicated, does take energy. It takes time. It's stressful, and it can get you out of the mood. If you have younger kids, they have more energy. They have more things they may be involved with that require you to exert uh, your energy level to attend to their energy level. And man, as a parent, that can be taxing. And when you get home, you don't want nothing but go to sleep and do it over again the next day. We got some more comments coming in, sir. At the hotline.
Hold on. Here it comes.
Okay. Some kids are blockers on purpose. I thought she was gonna say the whole thing, but okay, this is a family show. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well, I'm gonna tell you. So that's very true. I'm gonna tell you. This is one experience happened to me when I was years ago. I was
yeah.
I was trying to date this. I was trying to date this one lady, and we out in the car. We were out of the car. We talking, blah blah blah. And her son, I forgot how old he was. I can remember he wasn't old. He was a young kid. We just in front of the house. We talking, and I'm trying to shoot my talk and whatever. And I guess they was getting ready to go somewhere. They was trying to go somewhere, whatever. He's like, "Mom, I can't find my shoe." She's like, "It's in such and such.
Yeah.
Go look at such and such. I know where your shoe is." He go in, come back, come minutes later. "Mama, I looked there, I can't find my shoe." He did it like 3 times.
Wow.
She's like, "Well, let me go in here and find this shoe." So as she walked in the
She put that
door,
house coat on.
the little boy looked at me and said, "Ha ha."
Like, gotcha. Gotcha.
It was one of them. This little son of a. But it was
You
so
ain't getting
funny.
none tonight.
I couldn't get mad.
But I remember, well, reflecting on my earlier comment when I said that I didn't invite women over to my home when I was younger. And the reason for that is I raised my three girls as a single father for quite extended period of time. And the worst imagery that I didn't want to put in their head is dad bringing home different women every other night or whatever, every other week. So I made a pact to not to do that with myself. As long as they're here, it was my weekend or whatever. As long as they're here, I'm not going to be entertaining people that have no meaning other than a high and by and to their lives. So I made it a focus not to do that when they were around. As they got older, now I was able to talk to them and discuss some things, and even with limited explanation, I'll try to get them to see that, hey, dad needs to be dating somebody by now. You know what I mean? I need to bring somebody back in. But yeah, it was just understanding that I had to make sure they were emotionally ready to see dad dating and
Okay.
accepting of the person that he is dating, not just some floozy coming through the middle of the night.
So I understand. I have no. I have not been in those situations. I never, and now I never will be in those situations. So I'll take your word on it. But and I can respect what you're coming from with it.
Yeah.
You know, prioritizing the children over
Yeah.
your needs. That's sexually, monetarily, sometimes a lot of times emotionally. I can imagine.
Oh yeah, because when they got older, right, they became young adults. You're young adults now, but when they moved to college and on in life, it was like, man, all that PR past us.
Mm. But hey, as we wind
Oh
it
yeah,
down,
yes,
with
sir. Go ahead.
Pete, that you passed up, it probably wasn't. Bible probably wasn't for you. And,
Exactly. Yeah,
and that's you passed up. That's
yeah,
emptiness that you
exactly. I didn't
probably
have to
could
deal with
experience,
that
giving
trauma,
yourself,
that
giving
trauma.
yourself to somebody else who wasn't deserving.
Of
Because
course,
if they wasn't deserving, if they were really deserving, you'll find a way
it would
to
have
keep them in
made
your
a
corner.
way. It would have made a way. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, besides if you hadn't passed it up, you might have had one more child.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, three is enough, right? Three is a crowd. Yeah.
So as we wind this down, remember next week the poet and a therapist going bush in the head with some more good stuff.
They better bring that fire because I'll be driving home and I need to hear it. And I
Yeah.
can't type and drive, so
Please don't. Public
safety
safety
first.
announcement.
Yeah,
We don't, but they'll be here next week. Go out, subscribe, share this. Like this.
comment.
Go on YouTube. Send the YouTube link out to anybody and everybody.
Yeah,
We're gonna be here on Tuesdays, either around 7:30 or 8 o'clock, depending on
Mhm.
how the time goes.
Mhm.
But no, go out there, share it and let them come on, and we want to hear more and more opinions because this is an open platform and you want to make sure everybody gets a voice,
Yes, we like to engage with
a
the
positive
audience.
voice.
Yes, we like to engage with the audience.
Yeah. So
So,
I'm what you got anything last things to say, Don, before we start ending this session?
don't have anything. Just remember, we may be having less sex, but it's not about the numbers; it's more about the intimacy. So, love the one you're with. I mean, it's cheaper to keep her. However you want to put it.
Yeah. What he said. I'm Marcus Goodwin,
And I'm Don Jr. Lilly. Peace.
and we out.
Yes.